The tight end position is one of the roughest positions in fantasy football. If you're one of the bottom 3 teams in your 12-man league at the position, you know playing the waiver wire is awful. If you're in a 16-team league or if you got deeper lineup requirements, you know that there's nothing there. But we got somebody to look at this week, and this video is a requesting for the deep dive of Greg Dulcich, tight end of the Miami Dolphins. And this guy was a major flavor earlier in his career for fantasy football, and now he's popping up again. We're going to do a deep dive on him, but before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing deep dives all day long on as many players as possible, so you know more about those players, the advanced analytics, their situation, so you know whether or not to pick them up, start them, stay away from, whatever you need to do. We're going deeper than anybody else when it comes to covering the waiver wire, and we're helping you set your lineups through these videos. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. Greg Dulcich has entered the chat. 5 targets last week against the Baltimore Ravens. We got the Buffalo Bills coming up. We got some volume in this matchup, a 36% snap share. And you're looking at that like most of you guys are like, I can't risk that. I can't stash that. Some of you guys are in deeper leagues and you're like, I'm interested. That's 5 targets. He's running routes. I know about the Dolphins. That tight end position there can get rather juicy at times. So some of you guys might be in, some of you guys might be out just by looking at that. And if I'm a bottom dweller in my league at the position, or if I need some hopium, hopefully I can help you out here. But going back to UCLA, that final year, 725 yards, 42 balls caught. Look at the ADOTs, though. Those last few seasons, 12, 15, 10. Deep ball dandy at the position, can get deep downfield. Not a ton of catches on his career, but that's a long time ago. But we kill it. We got good size adjusted athleticism, 243 pounds. We move well. That's one thing we noted during the draft process. Spreadsheet-wise, compares to David Njoku. And when he got on the field during his rookie season, he blasted off a little bit. 411 yards, 2 touchdowns, some tight end 1 weeks. Looked good. Looked like he was going to be the next big thing. Then some injuries hit, and we're slow to bounce back. And now we're bouncing with some teams here. Now we're here with the Miami Dolphins in 2025. And you go back to 2022, he was going off. He was that big asset in fantasy football. And he was making plays. He was making it happen. He was showing you that upside with 5 tight end 1 weeks. And you're looking at this depth chart. You got Darren Waller on IR. Julian Hill's coming back. You got Tanner Conner. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Julian Hill is a nobody. He's a nobody from Campbell. Coming back from an ankle injury. We're going to see if he's even going to be back, but he's done nothing on his career. He's done nothing on his career. You're looking at Greg Dulcich and what he did last week. He ran 20 routes, and then on top of that, he graded well. He got 5 targets, and he out-targeted everybody but 2 players. He's getting work in the passing game. You can definitely say the risk with him is targets to the wide receivers and a lot of targets going to the running back, so a lot of volume. But you can also say that there's game scripts where the tight end position here on this team gets rather juicy. He ran 6 more routes than Tanner Conner. He's getting the workload in the offense per this small sample size, but we also got a previous sample size, previous indicators that Greg Dulcich can make something happen in the league, and now he's climbing up this depth chart here. You're looking at Darren Waller. He's proven he can cash. You're also looking at Jonnu Smith last year. They like athletic tight ends, and they can get rather juicy at the tight end spot. The Miami Dolphins like to look that way, especially in the red zone. We saw that with Waller, and now we're hoping that gets revitalized here with Dulcich. That's one thing we're looking at here. We're looking at the routes ran per game. Dulcich averaging around 13 per game here. Hasn't been out there too much, and 2.5 targets per game, most of them in the last matchup. Everybody else, 10 and 9 for Hill and Conner. Darren Waller, we're waiting for him to come back, but this could be a short-term option for you as a patch-up. You're looking at the target rates for the Miami Dolphins. They're almost dead last in the league. 45 targets to the tight end spot on the season. 37 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the worst. So they're not really targeting the tight end position too often. They have been horrible at the tight end position until Darren Waller came back. They started looking at him more. Then after that, they're just going Waddle. They're going HN a lot. They're trying to do that. But if Dulcich can get some signs of life here, if he can start making some plays happen, get a little bit more than expected, they might start looking his way some more. You're looking at the targets in the offense. Devin HN leads this team in targets right now. That says something about this offense. If you're looking for the short game, it's to Devin HN. He can get you that yak. That makes sense. He's got a 22% target share. Jalen Waddle, a 21% target share. Now you're looking at the scraps left. Malik Washington, 14%, and now it's just getting spread around this offense. It's mainly going to HN and Waddle, but they're also looking for somebody to step it up. Between Nick Westbrook and Washington, nobody's really doing that, and you're looking at Greg Dulcich down there, 8% target share, 5 targets, 5 balls caught. We're looking at him over 2 games. This could be the guy that steps up in this offense. They like athletic tight ends. They like guys that can pull away over the middle. They like that for the red zone. There's potential for that because outside HN and Waddle, nobody's really stepping up to take over. Washington's had some good moments. He's got an 8 out of 4.4. He's soaking up the short targets. With him soaking up short targets, that's taken away from the tight ends. Dulcich has a higher ADOT than him, though, at 6, and we saw that during his collegiate career. We saw that with the Broncos. He can stretch it down the seam a little bit, making him a good trendy option for those big plays. You're looking at some of these matchups here, though. You got Buffalo. So the thing about this matchup, you got a high over-under, a high projected point total for this game. So this game could get out of hand, but they're also been very good at slowing down tight ends. Then the next game, you got the Washington Commanders. And those game scripts, teams have to go to their second, third, and fourth reads. They have to get creative in the passing game, which is something they may have to do against that defense. But also, JD5 is out. So the Miami Dolphins might accidentally get ahead in that matchup. More than likely, it's going to be a nice scrap. But that's something to pay attention to. But that could be a sneaky matchup for him. Where he's being ranked right now, per Fantasy Pros, the market is putting him around tight end 33. So most of you guys can't start him. Most of you guys in a traditional 12-man format can't start him or have better options. When you're looking at that, and you're looking at him from a macro perspective versus all these tight ends, I bet you the one thing you can say of him, with him being ranked tight end 33, is that he's a touchdown gamble and he's a flex gamble, especially in deeper formats. Or if you just want to make that bet off of what you saw last week, considering appropriately all the other guys in this range, once you're outside the top 15 or so at tight end, you're pretty much a tight end gamble. And then when you look at scoring at the tight end position, once you're outside like the top 10-ish, the guy who's ranked around tight end 25 for the week ain't really too far off from the tight end 12, 13, 14, 15, like a couple points. So the risk is there, but also like the downside is pretty massive at the tight end spot anyways, where higher scores are still not scoring much. So maybe you make that risk. That's something else to look at. One thing to note, if you're in a 16-team league and you're hurting at tight end, this is a money ball spot. This is a money ball play for you. I look for him as more of a money ball play. There's other ones out there to look at, like JT Sanders. Luke Musgrave is ranked rather low here, considering the volume in the offense, him getting anointed more targets. So also you can question the rankings that he's kind of ranked a little low, considering potential volume and a high projected point total for this matchup. Why you need him? He's a tight end gamble. He's a deep gamble. If I have a deeper format, if I'm in a deeper league, I think this is a great shot to shoot on. If I'm in a traditional 12-team league, I'm not dropping any of my top handcuff lottery ticket running backs. I'm also not really going after this if I got a top tight end. If I'm bottom third in my league at tight end, if I'm turning and burning, if I couldn't get Luke Musgrave, Colston Loveland already stashed, now the cupboard's bare, and you want to shoot your shot, traditional 12-man league, sure. Traditional 10-team league, it's probably going to be really hard to do so. There's probably somebody there. But you're looking at traditional 12, you have to be like bottom 3 or less in the league at the spot to be able to make this play. If I'm top quarter, I should have already turned this video off. If I'm top half in the league, I'm thinking about it. I'm interested. I'm watching him this Sunday. And why you wouldn't want him is because you're good at tight end. You're good. You're jacked up. You're stacked up. I don't believe in rostering multiple tight ends. I think in traditional leagues where it's a onesie position where you're only starting one, you roster one, and then you stream it if you get banged up or you get hit up with bye weeks. That's just what you do. And you can definitely do that with a lot of the matchups here at tight end. He's a good streamer. He's a streamer here considering there's going to be extra volume in this matchup. He's a gamble for the flex. He's a gamble for the tight end spot if you got to make that gamble. And why he's a gamble is because there's going to be a good projected point total for this game. I'm not going to say there will be, but Vegas is saying with a higher over-under in this matchup that points should be scored and that there should be good movement. He's also getting targets. He's highly athletic. If you're scraping by, this is a guy to look at that could get you out of that bind. Could be volatile, should be volatile because the position overall is hella volatile. It's one of the hardest positions in fantasy sports because it's volatile. That's why people pay up for tight ends, because it's also a cheat code if you can hit big at the tight end spot. That's why Rondé Gadsden's such a big deal, because he's a rookie, late round guy, afterthought, hitting middle of the year, and also out of position where there's a lot of volatility and he's getting you some consistency. But if you're looking for a play here that has upside, that's starting to get anointed, Greg Dulcich is a guy to look at. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.